To be better as a software engineer, we often told and expected to work hard, multitask, and quickly reply to emails and messages. But what if we can outperform others just by adopting a different mindset and ways of working? We all tend to react to a situation by quickly replying to emails and instant messages. We overvalue the work of fragmented attention and undervalue the skill of working with total concentration. Deep work is for anyone who wants to improve their ability to concentrate in this modern era filled with distractions. Hey free minds, welcome back to this channel and the first episode of this book club, a new series where I summarize key insights and ideas from some of my favorite books. Today we are talking about Deep Work by Cal Newport, a thought-provoking book that's all about the power and process of building focused work as a tool to achieve success in work. Before we begin, let me provide a preview of where this book guides us as a software engineer, aiming to enhance our productivity. Truly excel at work, we need to master time management, sustain mental energy, and maintain focus while working. This book serves as your guide to mastering focused work, revealing how to generate impactful, excellent results that genuinely matters. It also delves briefly into time management and mental energy as they are interconnected. We will divide this video into two parts, mirroring the structure of the book. First, the idea why pursuing deep work is valuable, rare, and meaningful. The rules. 4 rules to achieve deep work. To maintain the video's conciseness, I have chosen to divide it into two parts. Today, our focus will be on the idea why pursuing deep work is valuable and rare and meaningful. Depending on when you are viewing this, you can access the second part on the video description. Before we embark on this journey, let me explain why this book is particularly relevant to software engineering. Newport, being a professor of computer science, draws upon examples that directly related to our field. Moreover, he presents 3 individuals from different backgrounds: writer, software engineer, and entrepreneur as case studies. Thus, this approach is applicable to us as well. I will addressing some of the questions I had while reading this book towards the end of the video. So stay tuned and let's embark the journey together. Why is deep work valuable? The book states, in this new economy, 3 groups will have a particular advantages: those who can work effectively and innovatively alongside intelligent machines, those who are the absolute best in their field, and those who possess financial resources. Newport labels these individuals as the winners and encourages us to ponder how can one become part of these winners. Throughout this book, he outlined the routes to become part of the first 2 groups of the winners. To become a member of these 2 groups of winners, there are 2 fundamental abilities that we must possess: the ability to quickly master hard things, the ability to produce at an elite level in terms of both quality and speed. Let's pause for a moment and consider how the concepts mentioned above relate to us as a software engineer. Share your thoughts in the comment box below. How do these ideas resonate with you personally? For me, it prompts a moment of deep introspection. How accurate the insights are! I have always been committed to learning and delivering exceptional results. However, my approach is heavily based on willpower and fear of missing out. I have been pursuing myself relentlessly, putting in long hours, juggling multiple tasks, and ultimately adjusting myself in the pursuit of outcome. It's been a draining existence, leaving little room for self-care. This led me to a crucial question: could this book be a transformative force in my life? Naturally, I approached it with skepticism. After all, I have been accustomed to embarking hard work. So, what set this book apart? We will come to that later. Ability to quickly master hard things. To help us understand why learning difficult concepts require deep work, Newport draws insights from philosophical, psychological, and neurological perspectives. Philosophically, he uncovered historical evidence that uncovers the necessity of intense concentration of effective learning. In 1990s, a branch of psychology known as performance psychology emerged, highlighting the significance of deliberate practice in the learning process. To address the question of what deliberate practice truly entitles, Newport's research identified two fundamental components: maintaining focused attention on a specific skill or idea targeted for improving or mastery, and secondly, receiving feedback to refine one's approach. To explain how the brain changes when we practice deep work to become skilled at something, Newport looked at neuroscience. His research indicates that when we engage in deep work, a substance called myelin builds up around the brain's relevant neurons. Myelin is like an insulation on a wire. This covering helps speed up the transmission of the electrical signals between nerve cells and allowing your body to quickly send and receive messages. Think of it as a super highway for information in your body, making communication between your brain and other parts of your body fast and effective. This makes the neural pathway more efficient and effective for the practical skills. When a skill is well mastered, it means these pathways are well myelined. The author is saying that to learn difficult things, you need to practice deliberately, and that requires deep work. Doing deep work consistently results in long-lasting positive changes in how your brain works. Now, let's talk about how deep work helps us perform at an elite level. To explain this, Newport tells us about Alex Grant, a professor and author. Newport uses Grant's story to show that focused deep work can lead to top-notch results without needing to work extra hours. Newport summarized this with a simple idea: high-quality work produced equals to time spent into intensity of the focus. The main point is that when we work without interruptions for a 3 to 4 hour period on a tough task, we can outperform others. In addition, the author shares research that highlights the negative effect of constantly changing tasks. He introduced the idea of attention residue, a term coined by Leroy. Newport quotes from the book to explain Leroy's discovery: when you transit from task A to task B, your attention does not immediately shift. Traces of your attention linger, fixated on the original task. In our work setting, we often find ourselves doing multiple things at once, like going from one meeting to another or checking emails while working on an important project. These habits usually lead to reduced performance. Newport stressed that many of us are influenced by this common work culture. In addition, the author shares research that highlights the negative effect of constantly changing tasks. In the conclusion of this chapter, the author encapsulates the discussion with two pivotal statements. To produce at your peak level, you need to work for extended periods with full concentration on a single task, free from distractions. Put another way, the type of work that optimizes your performance is deep work. In the next two chapters, the author explains why it is rare and meaningful. It is added with nice real-life examples and studies. To convince us how deep work is rare, he begins with an argument about Meta, previously known as Facebook, and other Silicon Valley companies adopting open workspace, as they believe it accelerates idea generation and allowing business to harness the benefits of serendipity. However, the impact on employee within the culture, particularly the constant context switching, that hampers their capacity for deep work. He substantiates his claim with numerous studies to persuade us. In this book, he labeled this issue as the open workspace paradox, a situation where we recognize the value of the deep work, yet struggle to quantitatively measure the advantages. This is why business continue to advocate for more interconnected and shallow work environment, a phenomenon he termed as a metric black hole. Drawing from his research, he discovered the answer to question why does the culture of connectivity persist lies in the principles at least resistance. He explains that humans tend to gravitate towards what is easier. He shared two insights into work culture. Convenience of using instant messaging to quickly obtain necessary information for our task is evident. However, this approach can be distracting and hinder focus work. Without relying on such a messaging system, a more strategic organization of our workday becomes essential. Waiting for a response and switching tasks in the interim can be challenging to implement, but it's necessary for maintaining better focus and productivity. The second point to consider is the ease of beginning your day by addressing emails. This can provide an initial sense of productivity and accomplishment. However, the truth is, the approach often involved reacting to the priorities of others, resulting in your own task piling up. To truly prioritize your work, a more deliberate approach is necessary. one that involved careful consideration of what task required your attention and for how long. This method of working demands a high level of effort. Another contributing factor to the phenomena is the lack of clear goal. Newport refers to this as a business as proxy for productivity. When there are no well-defined criteria for gauging productivity and value in their roles, many knowledge workers reverted to using an industrial measure of productivity, appearing busy by completing a multitude of visible tasks. Simply observe your co-workers and colleagues. How many of them align with these previous points? Your answer will become clear. In this culture of distraction within the organization, if you possess the ability to swiftly master the complex technology and consistently achieve elite level of performance, you truly stand out by practicing deep work. It's important to note that business often encourages shallow work, and many individuals unknowingly succumb to this trend, which in turn diminishes the prevalence of deep work even further. This particular question stuck with me quite a long time until I discovered this one. If being always connected and doing superficial work doesn't lead to excellent results, then how do companies achieve impressive success and create complex tools? I often find myself getting distracted by instant messages and spending long hours assisting my colleagues. By the end of the day, I feel exhausted. Even with looming deadline, I pushed myself to work late hours to meet them. While the company achieves its goal, people like you and me end up feeling burnt out and less capable of doing deep work. This is how business accomplish what they want. However, we cannot simply go to our manager and say, I helped my colleague with their work, but I didn't finish mine. This is where we need to take charge of our workday and prioritize our tasks. Changing this mindset took me years, and the journey towards mastering continues. What is intriguing is that perfection is not necessary. The key is to start implementing the rule, and gradually, over time, you will witness the result. Let's talk about how deep work can add meaning to your work. You are probably had experience where you are deeply focused on writing code for a complex problem. During these moments, you become fully engrossed, and all of a sudden, you find a solution or tackle the problem in a way you had not thought of before. Think about it, how you feel during those times. You experience a sense of happiness and a fulfillment. However, not all of us can sustain this level of concentration every day, and that is one reason why we sometimes find our job less engaging. To illustrate this, the author shared some research involving blacksmiths and craftsmen who created objects that reflect the personality of the person who made them. Without a deep connection and engagement, achieving this would be impossible. It demonstrates that when a person dedicates time and effort to their work with a high level of skill, they find profound satisfaction. The definition of craftsmanship is that the level of skill shown by somebody in making something beautiful with their hand. I am sure you understand what craftsmanship is, but can we draw a parallel between craftsmanship and programming? The author makes this point very clear by using an example from The Pragmatic Programmer, a highly regarded book in the field of programming. The book conveys a similar idea about programmers. Starting with, within the overall structure of a project, there is always space for individuality and craftsmanship. In conclusion, the author has connected deep work with finding meaning to your profession, stating that deep work is crucial for finding meaning in your job. Therefore, embarking deep work in your career and using it to develop your skill can turn a knowledge-based job from a distracting and tiring duty into something fulfilling, a gateway to world filled with remarkable and marvelous opportunity. I have to say, it has been a quite an amazing journey. As I went through this book again and prepared this video, I cannot help but reflect on how I actually applied these concepts in various work situations and managed to do exceptionally well without feeling overwhelmed. I remember reading this book around October and November in 2018, and by June 2019 I had established a consistent routine for completing my work by 5:30. Whenever I take on a new project now, I immediately connect with it and become deeply engaged in the work. This not only brings a sense of purpose but also professional satisfaction. This journey had its share of ups and downs as I underwent a transformation. Interestingly, even when you are actively applying these concepts, you might not realize you are doing so until you look back after years of practice. It's only then that you notice how things have shifted and improved in your work and life. Deep work means being able to focus on one task for a long time. Newport has shared 4 rules to help you improve these skills, and I will discuss them in my next video. There is an important idea that this book emphasizes to achieve this level of concentration by having a clear goal, the right skills, and the feedback for improvement. You can enter a deep work state for an extended period. For a more detailed explanation of this idea, check out my previous video titled How to Unlock Insane Focus on Command. You can find it by clicking on the card on the screen right now. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.